The chains of servitude. The year is 2157. Earth has been under alien rule for 37 years. The Draknari Empire, a race of tall, blue-skinned beings with superior technology, conquered humanity after a brief but devastating war. They're massive. Ships still hover over major cities, casting permanent shadows over the ruins of human civilization. Most humans have accepted their fate as laborers and servants. They work in the mines, factories, and construction sites that fuel the Draknari. War machine. The aliens provide just enough food and shelter to keep their workforce alive, nothing more. Freedom is a forgotten concept. Rebellion, a distant memory. In the underground tunnels beneath New Chicago, a man named Jack works alongside hundreds of other humans. His hands are calloused from years of hauling metal ore, his back bent from constant labor. The Draknari overseers watch with cold, calculating eyes, their energy weapons ready to punish any sign of defiance. Jack is different from the others, though they don't know it yet. While his fellow workers have given up hope, something still burns inside him. He remembers stories his grandfather told him about the old world, about a time when humans were free. These memories fuel a quiet rage that grows stronger each day. The Draknari believe humans are weak, broken creatures incapable of resistance. They have grown comfortable in their rule, confident that their technology and superior numbers make them untouchable. Their leader, Commander Vex, rules from a massive fortress ship that orbits Earth. He sees humans as nothing more than useful animals. But Jack has been watching, learning, planning. He notices patterns in the guard rotations, weaknesses in their security systems, moments when the overseers are distracted. He begins to gather small items, a piece of wire here, a broken tool there, hiding them in secret places throughout the tunnels. One evening, as the work shift ends, Jack overhears two Draknari guards discussing a transport ship that will arrive tomorrow. It carries advanced weapons and communication equipment bound for the outer colonies. The guards laugh about how easy it is to control the primitive humans, how they lack the courage to fight back. That night, Jack makes his decision. He will prove them wrong. He will show them that humans are not the weak creatures they believe. He will spark the fire that burns down their empire. As he lies on his thin sleeping mat, surrounded by the quiet breathing of exhausted workers, Jack closes his eyes and begins to plan. Tomorrow, everything changes. Tomorrow, the rebellion begins with a single act of defiance that will echo across the galaxy. The Draknari have made one critical mistake. They underestimated the human spirit. They forgot that sometimes all it takes is one person willing to stand up and fight to change the course of history. Jack will be that person. The transport ship arrives at dawn, its hull gleaming in the pale sunlight. Jack watches from the eye, mining tunnels as Draknari soldiers unload crates of weapons and equipment. His heart pounds as he sees the opportunity he has been waiting for. During the shift change, Jack slips away from his work group. He has studied the guard patterns for weeks and knows he has exactly 12 minutes before the next patrol. Moving through the shadows, he reaches the storage area where the new shipment is being processed. Using the tools he has collected, Jack manages to open one of the weapon crates. Inside are energy rifles, far more advanced than anything humans have seen. But Jack is not interested in the weapons themselves. He wants the power cells that run them. With careful precision, he removes several power cells and replaces them with modified ones he has been working on in secret. The modifications are crude but effective. When activated, these cells will overload and explode, taking out whatever they are connected to. As Jack works, he hears footsteps approaching. A Draknari guard rounds the corner, his weapon raised. For a moment, the two stare at each other in silence. Then the guard moves forward, ready to sound the alarm. Jack does not hesitate. He grabs a piece of metal piping and swings it with all his strength. The guard falls, unconscious but alive. Jack quickly finishes his work and returns to the tunnels, his heart racing with adrenaline. The next day, the modified weapons are distributed to Draknari forces across the city. Jack continues his regular work, showing no sign of what he has done. But inside, he counts down the hours until the weapons are activated for their routine testing. When the moment comes, the results exceed even Jack's hopes. Explosions rock the Draknari command posts throughout the city. Chaos erupts as their communication systems fail and their weapons malfunction. For the first time in decades, the aliens show fear. Other humans begin to take notice. They see the confusion among their captors, the cracks in their perfect control. Some remember what it felt like to be free. The spark that Jack lit begins to spread, igniting hope in hearts that had forgotten how to dream. Commander Vex responds with brutal force. He orders mass executions, trying to crush the rebellion before it can grow. But his actions only fuel the fire. More humans begin to resist, first in small ways, then with growing boldness. Jack knows he has started something that cannot be stopped. The Draknari Empire has ruled through fear and superior technology, but they have never faced an enemy that refuses to stay defeated. They are about to learn that humans fight hardest when they have nothing left to lose. Asterisk word of the explosions travels through the underground networks that connect human settlements across the continent. What started as one man's act of defiance becomes a symbol of hope for millions of enslaved humans. Jack finds himself at the center of a growing resistance movement. Other workers approach him in secret, wanting to help, wanting to fight. He organizes them into small cells, each operating independently to avoid detection. They begin sabotaging Draknari operations across the city. The aliens respond with increasing violence. Public executions become daily events. Curfews are imposed. Food rations are cut. But each act of cruelty only strengthens human resolve. The Draknari are learning that oppression has its limits. Dr. Lisa, a former scientist who has been forced to work in the factories, joins Jack's movement. She brings technical knowledge that proves invaluable. Together, they develop new ways to disrupt Draknari technology, turning their own weapons against them. The resistance grows bolder. They attack supply convoys, destroy communication towers, and rescue captured humans from detention centers. Each victory, no matter how small, inspires others to join the fight. Commander Vex realizes he is facing something unprecedented. In all their conquests, the Draknari have never encountered a species that continued to resist after being defeated. He begins to question his understanding of these primitive creatures. Meanwhile, Jack's actions have caught the attention of humans. In other cities, similar resistance movements begin forming across the globe. The single spark has become a wildfire that threatens to consume the entire occupation. The Draknari bring in reinforcements, but the humans adapt. They learn to use the aliens' own technology against them, to move through their cities unseen, to strike where they are weakest. The hunters become the hunted. 1 year after Jack's first act of sabotage, the resistance has evolved into a full-scale rebellion. Human forces, once scattered and weak, now coordinate attacks across multiple continents. The Draknari Empire faces its first serious challenge in centuries. Jack has become a legend, though he remains focused on the practical work of warfare. He leads raids on Draknari strongholds, always staying one step ahead of their attempts to capture him. His tactical brilliance surprises even his own allies. The turning point comes when Dr. Lisa makes a crucial discovery. She learns that the Draknari's advanced technology depends on a rare mineral that exists only on Earth. Without it, their weapons become useless. Their ships cannot fly. Their empire cannot function. This knowledge changes everything. The humans are not just fighting for their freedom. They hold the key to the Draknari's survival. Jack realizes that they have more power than they ever imagined. The final assault begins at dawn. Human forces, armed with captured Draknari weapons and their own ingenious devices, attack the orbital fortress where Commander Vex makes his headquarters. The battle is fierce, with losses on both sides, but the humans fight with a desperation and creativity that the Draknari cannot match. They use tactics that no military academy teaches, weapons that should not work but do, and a courage born of having nothing left to lose. When the fortress falls, the Draknari Empire's control over Earth crumbles. Without their command center, their forces are scattered and confused. The humans press their advantage, driving the invaders from city after city. Asterisk. The war ends not with a massive battle, but with a negotiation. The remaining Draknari forces, cut off from their home world and facing an increasingly effective human resistance, agree to withdraw from Earth in exchange for safe passage. Commander Vex, now a prisoner, faces Jack in the ruins of his former command center. The alien leader struggles to understand how a single human's act of defiance destroyed an empire that had conquered dozens of worlds. Jack explains that the Draknari made a fundamental error. They assumed that breaking a people's spirit was the same as defeating them. They never understood that humans possess something that cannot be conquered, the ability to hope, to dream, to fight for something greater than themselves. The aliens depart Earth, their ships disappearing into the void. The humans emerge from their underground hiding places, blinking in the sunlight of a world that is finally free. But freedom comes with a price. The planet is damaged, its cities in ruins, its people scarred by decades of oppression. The work of rebuilding will take generations. There will be challenges, setbacks, and moments of doubt. Jack, now recognized as the man who sparked humanity's liberation, faces a choice. He could become a leader in the new world, helping to shape humanity's future. Instead, he chooses to return to the tunnels where it all began, to work alongside the people he fought to free. In the end, the story of Earth's liberation is not just about one man's courage. It is about the power of hope to survive in the darkest times, the strength that comes from refusing to accept defeat, and the truth that freedom is never given. It must always be taken. The Draknari Empire, once invincible, crumbles as other. Conquered worlds learn of humanity's victory. The species that seemed so weak, so broken, so easily controlled, has shown the galaxy that oppression contains the seeds of its own destruction. And in the tunnels beneath New Chicago, where an ordinary man once made an extraordinary choice, the work of building a better world continues. The spark that Jack lit has become a flame that will burn for generations. A reminder that sometimes the greatest victories begin with the smallest acts of courage. The story ends where it began, with humans working together, building something better. But now they work in freedom, their chains broken by one man's refusal to accept the unacceptable. The galaxy will never be the same. Asterisk.